You're about to discover the 7 things you absolutely need to know about Seabourn Encore. I'm Gary Bembridge. This is another of my tips for travellers. I'm currently on board Seabourn Encore, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to tell you 7 things that I think you need to know about the ships. Seabourn Encore is the first of 2 ships that were a new class of ship for Seabourn. They had the Odyssey class, of which they had 3 ships, and now they have the new Encore class. Seabourn Encore being the first one, Seabourn Ovation being the second one. These ships are quite a bit bigger than the Odyssey class. The Odyssey class take just under 458. These take 600 passengers, so it's over 30% more passengers. Of course, being a bigger ship, the Encore has more space, it has more facilities, and it has more choice. So let's talk about that in a bit more detail. There's a lot of dining options on board Seabourn Encore. The restaurant is the main dining room, and this is open always for dinner. It's a waiter service, and it has multi-course meals and of course vegetarian options as well. It's also open sometimes for breakfast and lunch, and it differs a little bit based on the itinerary. One of the most popular venues is the Colonnade. The Colonnade is the more informal dining venue. Breakfast and lunch are always a buffet with lots of stations, really good food. And in the evenings, it's normally a sit-down served dinner, and these are normally themed on different countries. Some evenings that does tend to be more buffet style. So for example, on the Indian evening, that was a self-service. The patio is also incredibly popular. This is out by the pool. So at lunchtime, they will serve more informal stuff, hot dogs and hamburgers and whatever. In the evening, it becomes a little bit more formal, and it becomes a waiter service menu, and it has a wide range of really good food. One of my favorite places is sushi. This is a relatively small space, and certainly when I was on Encore, it was staffed entirely by Japanese. Incredible sushi, sashimi, as you would expect by the name, and you can go as often as you like. It's open most days for lunch and for dinner. It's included within the fare. And if you're ever on Encore, I would strongly recommend you go quite early in the cruise, because it is really good and you probably want to go back. The Grill by Thomas Keller, who is a celebrity chef in the United States, is their big specialty restaurant. It's really modeled on a 50s, 60s steakhouse. So you can expect things like lobster thermidor, lots of steaks. It's all served with a little bit of theatre. Really great venue. Now for this venue, you're allowed to go once per cruise, and they recommend that you book it before you go on the cruise to make sure you get the day and time you want. In terms of other dining options, there's a complimentary room service, which of course has breakfast, it has lunch, and in the evenings you can even order from the restaurant menu and have that served very beautifully in your cabin. Afternoon tea, which is a great experience, and that was served up in the observation bar with sandwiches, cakes, scones. The next thing that I think you need to know about Seabourn Encore is some of their big flagship facilities or things that they offer. And there are probably 2 of these that are worth noting. The first of which is called Seabourn Square. This is something that all Seabourn ships have, and it's something that they're very proud of. Seabourn Square is a big space on Encore, and it's really the hub and the heart of the ship. So in here you have guest services, you have shore excursions, you have future sails, you have a coffee shop. Also in here you have a really small library with some guidebooks, and also you have papers printed out from all around the world, and also little electronic devices where you can read the papers. It's a really popular venue. It's a place that people sort of move to, particularly during the day. You can sit there. There's an inside area, there's an outside area. It's a really nice space, has a really good feel, and it's really, if you want to know what's going on and meets and greets and see other passengers, Seabourn Square is definitely the place to be. The other big thing that Seabourn are very proud of is the retreat. The retreat you do have to pay for. So the retreat has 15 cabanas, and you have a television, you have refrigerator stocked with beverages. The retreat can hold up to 30 guests, and at the time of recording, it was $149 on a port day. It was $249 on a sea day. What's important about that price is it's the price per suite. So 2 of you are included within that price. The next thing I'd like to talk about are bars and lounges. Premium drinks, soft drinks, and alcoholic drinks and wines and champagnes are included within the fare. So the main places to go are the club, which is, as the name would suggest, it's kind of in the evening becomes a club. And this is kind of the late night place on board. So there's often dancing before dinner, after dinner, and you often have live music played in here. And this is also where the casino is. So it's not a massive casino, but you do have quite a few machines and a couple of tables. Probably the nicest bar in my view is the observation bar. This is right up on the top of the ship. It's on deck 11, right in the front of the ship, so you have great views as you're sailing along, and it has a circular bar, great seating, and it's a really nice space. This is where they have afternoon tea. On the pool deck, you also have a bar there on deck 9. There's also another bar a little bit up on deck 10 as well. So a selection of bars and lounges spread across the ship. The next thing I think you need to understand is all about wellness and spas and fitness. So what facilities do they have on board? Well, you have a pool, a pretty decent sized pool up on deck 9. This is the main pool. You also have another smaller pool on deck 5, and this is a real find. It's just behind the club. A lot of people forget it's there, and it's really great, particularly on sea days, because you're at the back of the ship sailing along. It's a really nice little space. I really like the pool on deck 5. You have a spa. It's a pretty big spa. You have a salon, a barber shop. You have, of course, the treatment rooms, and you have a fitness center. There's a space outside where people often stretch after they've done their workout. Classes are also held, and classes are normally included within the fare. In terms of activities and fitness, there's also a marina on board the ships. That's open really based on where you're sailing in the world and if they're able to open it when you're in port. So a little marina where you can do various water activities off the back of the ship. The next thing I'd like to talk about is what is there actually to do on board? So what is there actually to do in terms of entertainment and activities? Well, first of all, the key venue is known as the Grand Salon. This is where the shows are held every evening. So every evening you'll have the Seabourn vocalists, they'll perform a show, or you'll have various guest artists on board. So every evening there will be some sort of entertainment in the Grand Salon. Also around the ship in the key venues, so sometimes up in the observation bar, certainly in the club, you'll also have live musicians playing. If you like to play cards, there's a very big card room. It's actually a massive big space. Also, like on many cruises, you'll have all the sort of activities that the entertainment team run. So that might be little golf putting exercises, quizzes, competitions, the usual kind of stuff that you would normally find on board a cruise. Also, in terms of activities, there's normally things going on. So you'll normally find there's things like, of course, the captain's welcome party. On one of the days, you'll have a caviar evening. So, for example, on the cruise we were on, it was called a caviar and champagne evening. Also, you'll normally find on board, weather permitting, there will be a party out on the deck. So there's normally a series of parties and events also happening across the period of your cruise. The next thing you need to know about are the cabins, or certainly a Seabourn would call them the suites, because they do call all of their ships all suite ships. So on Seabourn Encore, 100% of the suites have a balcony or veranda, depending on what you want to call it. So the suites themselves are pretty big, and certainly when I posted pictures when I was on board, a lot of people commented about the size. So I'm in a pretty sort of mid-range cabin. I'm in a veranda cabin, so you can obviously get really big palatial suites, but I stayed in a veranda cabin. That's the one I want to talk about because that's what the bulk of the suites or cabins are on board. Suites themselves are pretty big. They're very comfortable, very plushly done. And because it's a premium ship, the quality of things like the bedding is very high. The bathroom is fantastic. You've got twin basins, you've got a bath, and I had a separate shower, and you have molten brown toiletries. You have a big television, interactive television, movies on demand, and also you have a mini bar which can be stocked pretty much with anything that you want, because again, drink is included within the fare on Seabourn Encore. One of the things that Seabourn Encore does have, although it didn't actually have it when it left the shipyard, is a guest laundry. So of course you can send your stuff away for the laundry, but there is now a guest laundry. It was actually put on not long after the ship set sail from its maiden voyage. Seabourn Encore is a beautiful ship. It holds 600 passengers, and so if you're looking for luxury with lots of choice, take a look at Seabourn Encore, or even its sister ship, Seabourn Ovation, because you have still a relatively small ship, but quite a lot of choice. I have many more videos about cruising, about Seabourn, so why don't you watch another one of those right now.